Emotion and subjectivity versus objectivity and rationality. In science culture, Professor Yuri Alon in his TED Talk says we tend to hold objectivity higher than emotion and subjectivity. The more Mr. Spark archetype from Star Trek, cold, calculated, and straight to the point. Professor said that PhD students go through something we call the cloud, which is a phase full of emotions, doubt, and frustration. I believe that this emotional component applies across the board of science in how we consume information, share, and teach science. Today, I'm going to break science education into two parts. The first part, the giants. One of my favorite scientists, Sir Isaac Newton, said, "If I have seen further, it is by standing on the shoulders of giants." This basically means that our society is built on the countless thinkers, scientists before us, and engineers before us. And this body of knowledge, we teach this body of knowledge in our schools. We test it, we experiment on them. We build our society on that. And we do this quite well. But when it comes to the second part of science education, not so much. I have a question. Do you remember being graded on a question you asked and not the answer you gave? That silence? We've all experienced that. The second part of science education is inquiry. And Isaac Newton sat underneath a tree and supposedly an apple fell on his head. Hopefully not this size. When the apple fell, it sparked a curious subjective question. Why do things fall? There was no answers from the perspective of his question at the time. Guided by the knowledge of giants before him, he explored this question objectively. He created models, experiments, and even an early form of calculus to test his theory. And that subjective question became scientific law in which we all stand on today. Yet, in our classrooms, we tend to favor answers over meaning. We need both aspects. UNESCO reported that 65% of our curriculum focuses on rote learning. Carl Sagan says that science is more than a body of knowledge. It is a way of thinking. Now, AI enters the classroom. It's fast, it's quick. It disrupts the first part of science education, the more memorization aspect. But that's not where opportunities end. Science itself is connected to something we all care about. And we need to make those connections in our classrooms, because one of the biggest challenges that students face is that they struggle to connect science to their own everyday lives. And if science is everywhere around us and it's connected to the things that we care about, surely we should explore what we care about in a more scientific way so that we can have a more personal connection with science, right? So, what figurative tree are you sitting under? And do we have the tools to explore those questions objectively? I believe we do. I believe we do. So, I'm going to leave with a quote by Isaac Asimov. The most important phrase to hear in science, the one that heralds discovery, isn't Eureka, but, that's funny. Let's explore further. Thank you very much.